Morning, a Garfield County judge is now facing 8 felony counts after he was indicted in a Texas courtroom Friday for a road rage shooting. He shot at another driver after they cut him off. Court documents show the Oklahoma judge then rammed his SUV into the back of another vehicle several times. Garfield County officials told us in November Lovell was not currently handling any cases. He's due back in Texas court March 19th.
A few moments later.
New drive-by shooting charges tonight for a Garfield County judge who's already charged with gun crimes in Texas.
This newest indictment alleges Lovell shot at his brother-in-law's house in Bison in February of last year. People were home at the time, but no one was hurt.
Okay, we're going to talk about the most gangster judge in America. The guy's just been indicted for 2 drive-by shootings in 2 separate states. Let's talk about it. This is Judge Brian Lovell, 59, from the great state of Oklahoma. Now, Judge Lovell has been a judge since 2011 and was recently promoted because he was doing such a great job.
Lovell was sworn in as a special district judge in Garfield County in January of 2011. Earlier this year, he was promoted to an associate district judge.
Now, we've talked about crazy judges before in the past, like this one that had to be dragged out of court.
After a judge sentenced another judge to jail time, chaos erupted in an Ohio courtroom. And taking the defendant into custody wasn't so easy, as a court officer had to drag her out.
You see what I'm talking about? Crazy freaking judges. First, let me take you to the great state of Texas, where our judge has just been cut off in traffic.
Lovell was arrested last week for a series of events unfolding on Austin, Texas streets, nearly 500 miles from his home. According to this affidavit, witnesses say they saw Lovell fire shots in as many as 5 cars at this intersection. Witnesses saying a man driving a white SUV left the scene. Police then got a second call of a road rage crash about 1.5 miles away. According to the affidavit, Lovell, driving a white SUV, slammed into the back of a woman's car. The two got into an argument, and Lovell reportedly intentionally hit her car a second time, attempting to push her vehicle into oncoming traffic. Police found a gun and magazine in his SUV. He reportedly told officers he did not know why he would have shot his gun and could not recall any part of the shooting incident.
Now, something interesting happened. See, police got the shell casings and the firearm that was used in that Austin shooting. Now, they took the ballistics and were able to match those bullets to another case back in February of 2023. This is what happened.
New documents could reveal a past of repeated bad behavior by a Garfield County judge.
Judge Brian Lovell was arrested and later charged for firing a gun while driving in Austin, Texas.
We're told months before there was another shooting at a family member's home in Bison, that's near Enid. And investigators now say bullets in both cases came from the same gun.
Kenneth Marcus says his son was inside this home off Highway 81 in Bison when he spotted a white SUV slowly driving by.
The car stopped out at the road, and that's when the shots were fired.
Kenneth believes he was the intended target, not his son. He says Judge Brian Lovell is his brother-in-law. The pair's relationship is strained at best.
I have no contact with him or anything, and I haven't had for the last 10, 15 years.
Court records show investigators recovered 5 spent shell casings in front of Kenneth's home. It wasn't until Lovell was arrested for reportedly firing a gun in Austin, Texas in September, investigators were able to make a connection. The ATF in Austin reached out to the OSBI, saying shell casings from both shootings were a match.
Okay, so I know this is insane. The same gun that was used in that Austin shooting where the judge was shooting parked cars allegedly, and they recovered the gun in the car. Well, that gun was also used in a shooting in Oklahoma where some random person shot up this house, and that house happened to belong to the judge's brother-in-law. Now, you heard what the judge said in the first shooting, that his mind wasn't right and he didn't know what was going on.
Police found a gun and magazine in his SUV. He reportedly told officers he did not know why he would have shot his gun and could not recall any part of the shooting incident.
But in this second shooting, the judge has a better excuse. He was praising God's name in church.
Lovell reportedly told investigators he was at church during the February shooting. Investigators requested a search warrant for Lovell's GPS locations and attendance records from First United Methodist in Enid, where Lovell attends church. Taking a closer look at the timeline, Lovell arrived at church around 10 o'clock that Sunday morning. GPS shows Lovell then went to an area near several restaurants and back to his home in Wacomas, only 7 miles from his brother-in-law's house. The drive-by shooting happening around 3:30 that afternoon.
Now, the judge is facing 8 felony counts in Texas.
Morning, a Garfield County judge is now facing 8 felony counts after he was indicted in a Texas courtroom Friday for a road rage shooting.
Now, it's important to remember, the gun that was used in this Austin shooting was also the gun used at the drive-by shooting in Oklahoma. So the judge was indicted for the Oklahoma shooting too.
New drive-by shooting charges tonight for a Garfield County judge who's already charged with gun crimes in Texas.
3 different crimes in 2 states. This newest indictment alleges Lovell shot at his brother-in-law's house in Bison in February of last year. People were home at the time, but no one was hurt.
Now, the judge is facing 8 felony counts in Texas, which can land him decades in prison, and he's facing a life sentence in Oklahoma.
He's now facing 2 felony charges, including shooting into a dwelling, which carries up to 20 years in prison, and using a vehicle to do it. That drive-by charge could come with a life sentence.
All right, so with all this evidence stacked up against him, the same gun used in both scenes, what you gonna do? Well, his lawyer is confident that he's gonna get this case tossed out.
The judge entered a not guilty plea on behalf of Brian Lovell, his attorney telling me they plan to fight this case vigorously.
We intend to attack the jurisdiction and soundness of the indictment.
A multi-county grand jury indicting Garfield County Associate District Judge Brian Lovell Thursday on 2 felony counts for a drive-by shooting in February 2023.
He was special judge about 10 years before that.
His attorney, Stephen Jones, who also represented Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh, won't comment on the case in Texas, but is standing by his client on the charges in Oklahoma.
It was a long time before the indictment was returned, and that bears on him and his family. But he's strong character. In my view, he's innocent.
Now, just to be clear, in everybody's view, he should be innocent because he's innocent until proven guilty. He hasn't been tried yet. Now, here's what the judge said at his indictment.
It's impossible! I never broke the law! I am the law!
Okay, that was Judge Dredd. But here's what the judge actually said to reporters.
Now, we went to his home today to ask him what happened.
Judge Lovell was at his home in Wacomas Wednesday when we knocked on his door.
I am Adria with News 4, and we're going to ask you a little bit about the situation that happened last week. Thank you.
He did not respond to our questions about the incident.
Okay, let me recap so we're all on the same page. Authorities are alleging that this judge first went to his brother-in-law's house and shot it up. A couple of months later, he's in Austin, allegedly shooting at parked cars, and police pull him over with the gun in the car. Now, we know these 2 crimes are tied together because of the ATF's report. The shell casings from the February shooting in Austin, Texas, match the shell casings from the drive-by shooting in Oklahoma. Now, even more shocking than all that, the judge hasn't been fired yet. See, the judge is still on the bench, but they're not allowing him to handle cases.
Lovell was sworn in as a special district judge in Garfield County in January of 2011. Earlier this year, he was promoted to an associate district judge. His longtime colleague, Judge Paul Woodward, would not speak on camera. He told me he would not comment until he has all the facts, saying Lovell has not presided over any cases since the incident last week.
Well, Judge Woodward says that it will be up to the Oklahoma State Supreme Court to recommend any disciplinary action.
Okay, so this is insane. I am not the only one who thinks this is crazy. Number one, you see how hard it is to get somebody off the bench? This man has been indicted in 2 different states for drive-by shootings. Now, I would want to know if the judge is under the influence or something, or does he have impulse control issues? Because none of this makes sense. Now, it's true, maybe this judge just got over his skis and just thought, hey, I'm the judge, I'm the man, I can do whatever I want, who's going to stop me? But now here's my question to you. Do you think this judge is going to do decades in prison? I think it's an easy call. I think if the bullets match from both scenes like they say that it does, I think the judge is done. I think it's done. I don't know. You guys got to tell me in the comment section. Listen, don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Do all that great YouTube stuff. If you enjoyed this video, please think about subscribing. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.